So the story goes such as this. I'm going to go through the story with you. It was a video that I watched, and someone interpreted the whole thing because it was in Arabic. And so I'm going to read to you how the story went. The narrator said, "We're heading south towards the city of Khan Yunis, south of Gaza, in an attempt to draw an approximate picture of a person whose handicap has turned into a lifestyle. The person is a young man, Abdur Raheem Hassan. We have arrived at his home to see the reality was much deeper than we had imagined. A young man who's yet to turn 20. He was born without arms, and yet his will to live was stronger than any handicap. His feet turned to his hands. He used them in such a skill that the viewers would have no choice but to say, Subhanallah, glorified is he who has withheld, and glorified is he who has given. He's a university student. He has passed all of his schooling this way, as seen in a video, using his feet for everything. He accomplished success upon success with one foot embracing the pen. His mother said, since he was 2 years old, I used to teach him. I would bring him toys and blocks, and he would put them together, and then he learned to write and so on. He did all that depending on his 2 feet. He would also see his brothers and do as they did by using his feet while they used their hands. It was said that there's no despair in life or life with despair. These words are no longer words, but in the case they turned out to be a lifestyle. If you watch him, this young man, mashallah, he planted a garden. This young man is an extraordinary young man. He could make wudu. He'll sit there and play with his cell phone with his feet. And forget planting a garden. He's the one who looks after the garden. He plants it. He picks the fruits and the harvest of it. When he can do something like this, subhanAllah, and write with his feet, nothing is impossible, my dear sisters and brothers. Nothing. Subhanallah, there is no excuses for us, my dear sisters and brothers. Listen to what the young man said. He said, his name is Abdur Rahim. He said, this is by the grace of Allah, and then patience and the support of my family and the community. They did not make me feel that I have anything missing. They rather made me feel that I'm a human being just like every other human being. I used to play and go places. My life was a normal life. The narrator said he was forced to stop his university studies, not due to his handicap, but because of his financial situation. Despite all of that, his dreams seemed to have no limits. Mustn't determination be equal to his challenges? Indeed, equal to the generosity of the generous one, does honor come to them. And this is from Arabic poetry. Abdur Rahim said, my wish is to become a teacher and to finish my higher education. I love to get married, but my financial situation has been an obstacle. Subhanallah, if anyone knows who this brother is in Gaza, please let me know, because I definitely want to do a fundraiser to help him, inshallah, get married and finish his education. I think he is a case study that is just phenomenal, and I will be the first one to help him get this done, inshallah. So if anyone out there listening or watching this video, please do email us and let us know, inshallah, and we will help him out. And the narrator ended with, whenever you see success, look for the will behind it. It is the will that overcomes the impossible, but not the impossible that overcomes it. For the impossible only exists in the dreams of the incapacitated. So if you're saying that something is not possible, and that it is impossible, and that it cannot happen, then you're the one who cannot see the big dreams. Then you're the one who needs to envision and who needs to imagine it, because it's you that's stopping yourself from achieving your dreams and goals, my sisters and brothers. Subhanallah, glory be to Allah who gives us so much, yet we never say Alhamdulillah enough. We never say Alhamdulillah enough. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeats this verse in the Quraan in Surah Ar-Rahman. And then which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? Subhanallah, my sisters and brothers, we cannot deny any of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's favors. We can all agree on that. But when it comes to worshipping Him, why are we so slow to move? Why? Astaghfirullah. Think about it. Is it that phone call that we're on that is more important than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or how about that TV show we're watching? Or whatever we're cooking? Maybe it's working, eating, or sitting in a class, talking to a friend. What is more important? You see, the one thing that we all need to learn is that nothing is more important than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By nothing, I mean nothing. I'm going to leave you with 3 easy steps, inshallah, in making sure that you just go and do it. Step number 1, imagine that today's your last day. For if you knew that today was your last day, what would you be doing? Would you pray? Would you make dua for yourself? Would you ask for forgiveness and mercy on you and your family? How would your last day be? Imagine that. And I actually wrote cards like this all over my house as well, and that is how my book, Imagine That Today Is Your Last Day, was inspired. Because I said, if it was my last day, how would I behave? Would I have patience with my kids? How would I behave? And so I want you to do the same thing. How would you be? Step number 2. Every time that you hear the adhan, I want you to imagine that you have a bank account and that it's getting filled up with $1 million if you rush and pray as soon as possible. Only you will be collecting that money after you pass away. So subhanallah, 5 times a day, that's $5 million. $5 million. And subhanallah, it's way more in the hereafter. Millions could not even account for it. You would give billions to save yourself, if not the entire world, to save yourself from Jahannam. And yet, because you pray, inshallah, you'll get more than billions. So my dear sisters and brothers, imagine that. Imagine something reasonable and say, you know what, I want $1 million, but every time I do salah, subhanallah, now you're one step closer. You go and you pray and you make dua and you ask Allah for it. And if you don't get it in this life, subhanallah, imagine what Allah will give you in the hereafter. You couldn't imagine. It's just not even imaginable, subhanallah. It would be so wonderful. And step number 3, I want you to look at yourself as you hear the adhan. Stop everything you're doing. Take a deep breath and look around yourself. Can you be thankful enough to Allah? Imagine if your boss came to your house to give you a bonus. You would jump to go and get the door. You should jump higher and faster to make wudu and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the blessings you have is unbearable. You would not give one eye for $1 million. You would not give one eye for $1 million. So let me ask you a question. Why aren't we thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because He's given us billions and billions. Just in creating us the way He's created us. Our minds, giving us the opportunities, everything. Why aren't we jumping up to thank Him? And this is our time, Salah. Ask Him for guidance and thank Him and be close to Him. Why? I pray that today's webinar has been helpful to you, inshallah. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts it from myself, the team of Just Go Do It, and my own team who we put it all together with us. Ameen. Please make dua for us. And inshallah ta'ala, I look forward to you guys sharing this with everyone else. And I look forward to hearing you guys using these tactics, inshallah, in your life. And that it making, inshallah ta'ala, a difference for you or someone else that you know. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.